Cloud. Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Liz Hodges, and I'm joining you here from sunny Orlando today. And Gregory and Robin are on the cruise journey trip that the company is providing for a lot of the top leaders that have earned the cruise trip. And I'm sure that we'll be getting a lot of good pictures. And as Robin is a infamous photographer, she takes wonderful pictures. And so we'll be able to enjoy the journey with them here in the next few weeks. So with that, I want to take time to welcome all of you. And today we are joined by Michael Farino, and Michael has been in the profession of network marketing direct sales since 1998. He actually ended up walking away with a very handsome residual income 10 years later. So in 2008, he, for all intents and purposes, retired from the profession. But back in September of 2023, he found LifeWave, or LifeWave found him, and he's going to tell you his story. But he built a very successful business in the past and has a lot of knowledge and wisdom about the direct sales and multi-level marketing industry. So he's going to share some thoughts with you today. So Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you and share
Well,
some great points with us, please.
Liz, thank you so much. And I'm very honored and very humbled to be here. I know that when Gregory and the team asked me to speak, being on for the first time yesterday or last week, there were some people asking about the industry and how did multi-level and how do you explain network marketing? And, one thing I've always told everybody is, a lot of people believe that our industry started in the 50s with a company called Holiday Magic, which was a almost like a tattoo mentality for women to have their makeup stay on 24 hours a day. But that's not true. The industry started way back. I mean, the greatest network marketer, I know a lot of you will say it's probably from Amway or from Oregano Gold or from, David Jumper, that there's these amazing network marketers out there. Well, I want you to realize that the very first network marketing company was a company talking about lifestyle and about everlasting life. And that was Jesus. Jesus was the very first network marketer. He went out and built and developed an amazing team, 12, obviously. And the mentality of the industry was to go out and share a lifestyle and how to live amongst each other and have have this incredible love in life and how to help others. And that's where the birth of network marketing came from. So don't be embarrassed to be a network marketer. I would be absolutely 100% proud to be a network marketer. You're able to share services and products that helps others. It's a goodwill factor. And, Jesus had his 12 front line. We know one failed, right? And he put you out 2 by 2. That's what he asked. He asked to go out and 2 by 2 and share the word, share this lifestyle, this mindset, this attitude of what it would take to become very well balanced in different areas of your life, mentally, physically, socially, spiritually, as well as financially. And they've done a phenomenal job. And I thought it was funny yesterday. I was at a meeting and someone said, well, I don't have anybody to talk to. It's saturated. Everybody's heard about LifeWave. Folks, they're still recruiting Christians. You'll never run out of people. I'm telling you, And when you tell me that when you tell me that, you don't have anyone, that you're part of what we call the NFL, that no friends left, How do you think Jesus and the 12 felt, trying to get it up and going? They were in the beginning of what they call creating momentum. And that's what we're all at right now. LifeWave is an absolute phenomenal product, and we're creating the momentum. And in some cases, there's other groups that have been around a little bit longer that are in the maintain momentum of our industry. And then there's a select that are able to advance the momentum. And that's where the millionaires are made. So understand that as you build and develop your team, understand that it all comes back to the original network marketer and how they had struggles, they had opposition, right? We all know this. They had competition with the devil, and they had opposition with different religions and different ideology, ideas and beliefs and culture, and they stuck to it. And now look at it. It's I don't know of another book that's outsold the Bible. I don't know another I don't know another explanation of someone who's had tremendous more impact on our world than Jesus. So I look at us, we all have a fighting chance. And, so when people say, I don't know how to explain network marketing, it's not your job to explain network marketing. It's not your job to tell them about why you think that network marketing is right for you. All you have to do is create that story in the relationship that you have with your product. Let the product sell itself. Jesus put 2 out there. Go out there, knock on doors. And the one thing that I got out of it that I thought was very unique, and I hope you all hear this today. When you knock on the door, shake the sand from your shoes. Now, back then, they had sandals, okay? But shake the sand from your shoes when you go in to present the opportunity. But make sure you do the same as you leave. And that told me that it really came to fruition in my mindset, being young, trying to build this industry, that not everyone is going to see it. Not everyone's going to feel it. Not everyone's going to understand it. But when you leave that home, when you leave that opportunity, whatever it was, make sure you shake the sand from your sandals once again as you leave. That means if they don't see it, it's okay. Don't let it affect you. You have the purpose. You found LifeWave, like LifeWave found me, right? And as you're out there exposing the business, you're going to have what we call the SW, SW, SWN. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. And that's really hard to swallow sometimes in today's economy, because maybe a lot of us are using this to drive a new culture or a new economy for ourselves and for our loved ones. And it's rough because you're going through a lot of that. Just think about what Jesus went through in the very beginning, right? Think about what those 12 went through. And one couldn't make it. One gave up. We all know that. But did they all give up? No, they did not. So the mindset is that as you build and develop this starting today, have it in your heart and take it. And that's a lot of it, I believe. I really do believe. You always hear about, 98% of it or 97% of success is showing up. And then you got to have determination. You have to have this. You have to have that. You have to have all these other little 3% stuff, right? And Jesus is in the details. It's that 3%. But the most important thing that you can do today, let LifeWave go from here to here. Let it get in your heart. Because that SWN won't bother you as much. Because you know that you're on the right path. You're creating the momentum. There's so many directors on. I think there's like 74 directors on here. That means there's 74 people that have already done something that almost 80% of the country can't do. And that is to have a successful business. I know you may not think that your business may not be as successful as you think it is and at the time that you think it should be. But I'm telling you, if you developed managers and silvers and you've maintained it, you've got a business. You've got a viable business. And you've done it in a short amount of time. And as you strive, understand it's literally letting your business go from here to here, from your head to your heart is probably the most important part of this. So understand that our industry, yes, people look at it and go, oh, I've heard about that thing, right? And when you get in that situation, you're never gonna change their mind. I look at every major corporation. You have a CEO or a founder or a visionary. And then from there, you got the vice presidents, right? And then you got the senior executives. And then you got the middle management. And then you've got the worker bees. Well, I'm sorry, but that's a pyramid. You look at the church, you got the Pope, and it kind of just goes down to the clergy. It just grows, right? Every solid business throughout the world is a pyramid. The difference is that we were programmed at an early age, and I do truly believe this, that we were all born to win. I'm sorry, but you are some of the greatest swimmers of all time. You beat out millions to get to the egg. I'm sorry. And then you won. You beat out millions. So if you were born to win, and then along the way we were conditioned to lose, and we were told that we were supposed to get good grades, right? And study hard, and get a good education, and then get a good entry-level job. And then we're supposed to work up, save our money, don't rock the boat, pay your taxes, tithe to your churches, be a pillar in your community. And then when you get a chance to retire, you can go off into the sunset knowing that you had a good life. The challenge was, at my age, I'm 57, we watched people lose their jobs, and it wasn't the people at the top of the companies. It surely wasn't at the people at the bottom. It was the people in the middle, right? Our middle class is vanishing dramatically. So what I'm telling you is that we were born to win. We were conditioned to lose. And a lot of us signed on for what we call this 40-40-40 program. And if you haven't really dove into that and really thought about it, you're supposed to work 40 hours a week for 40 years. And then you're supposed to retire on 40% less. How many people you know right now that are struggling on 100% of what they make, let alone getting to the ages of retirement where they have to live on 40% less? This is a great supplemental, right? This gives you the opportunity to be able to strive. Yes, it does push us out of our comfort zone. That's probably one of the most important things. That's what Jesus wanted. He wanted us out of our comfort zones. He wanted us to be able to share the word. He wanted us to live a life. He wanted us never to live broke. He wants us to live in success and bring others along with us. So just know that you're in the right place at the right time. You don't have to worry about defending the industry. The industry has created more millionaires than any other industry in the history of the world. There was a time in the 80s and 90s where Amway created a millionaire every 9 days. I promise you, you as a director, you've already done something that many can't do. People take their foot off the gas, they get frustrated, they end up concentrating on the some won't rather than the next. And if you do that and you get to director, do you understand that you're already on the 50-yard line in the 100-yard dash? So thank you so much for stopping in. It blows my mind that there's 80 something people on here that are directors. It just shows you that the product is not on trial. Okay. We know the product works, right? We know the comp plan it's simple, it's fair, and it's inexpensive to move, right? We know that. And it pays us as we build and develop. It pays us for our efforts. So what I'm getting at is that you were all born to win. The greatest network marketer it shares with us every day. He gives us blessings every day. And all we have to do is just go share it with others. And every one of you will have the opportunity to be at the top because that's where you all belong, because you're all born to win. So thanks a lot for listening to me. I hope that made sense. And I'm looking forward to locking arms with each and every one of you and taking this as high as we possibly can and put more checks and more checks more often in more people's bank account, because that's what we need right now. You want to make a difference? Go make money. You want to help your church? You want to tithe more? You got an opportunity to do that with our company. So thanks a lot, and I'll give it back over to Liz.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. That was very inspiring. And we've got a lot of aspiring directors on here today, as this is open to any of our Live Younger team. So we've got a lot of new people on here. And if you want to know how to get to director and to manager, please get with your upline mentor, and they can help you with the compensation plan and understanding what you need to do to move into the next stages. So thank you very much, Michael. And at this point, we're going to open it up for any questions anybody has, whether it's questions for Michael or anything with regard to the LifeWave business. And we'll see if we can answer any of your questions. And if you can do what Michelle did in raising your hand, which is down at the very bottom of the screen, and then we'll be able to call on you and you can unmute yourself. So, Michelle, thank you.
Hi.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Liz. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This was incredible, Michael. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel blessed beyond belief to be a part of LifeWave and to have made it to director. And as Liz said, there are some that are on here that are not directors yet, but I know they're rising stars. And you gave so much, so many blessings, so many words of wisdom. And I loved your analogies with Jesus's message and his mission. And we really, as Gregory has said, you cannot fail in this business unless you quit. Unless you quit, you just keep on putting one foot in front of the other. I've done network marketing for years and years. I've been probably in 8 or 10 companies, and I've never, ever had this much fun, this much support, this most incredible community that we have here with LifeWave. So everyone who's here, just keep on going, keep on plugging, keep on sharing and caring. And Michael, you're a gem. I'm so happy you're a part of our team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Michelle. So any other comments or questions? Lavelle, please unmute.
Big brother Michael, what's up, man?
How you doing, sir? Oh my gosh, it is an honor to be in battle with you, my friend, against mediocrity. I cannot believe that we got Lavelle on the call. Folks, we have got some talent. I'm talking first round draft picks, you know, in the war against mediocrity. So yes, Lavelle, chime in.
What's up, brother? Great job, Mike, and you brought it home. You need to be proud that you're a network marketer because you're following Jesus. And that is where I think the inspiration is. You're following the creator of the universe, guys. And what Mike said today is super duper powerful because sometimes we forget that. But guys, in my experience in network marketing for over 25 years now, There's a couple things that I like to add to that, Mike. One thing, one of our mentors said, turn up your music. You know, because we communicate more with our feelings than we do with our words. Like Michael was he was so passionate today in how he shared, and that's how we want to share our products and our story. When you share with, like, you know, like they say, ignorance on fire beats knowledge on ice. Just go out and share, guys. And guess what? And then I also want to add that they said if you build it, they'll come. If you build it, they'll come. The people that don't come now, they'll come later. You show them, you prove it to them that this is the ticket, this is the deal, this is the best thing right now. This is the best thing since sliced bread. And when you communicate that with passion, that's why we love Michael Kersel, Mr. Passion. When I first met Michael Kersel, oh my goodness, I saw him on stage just screaming and hollering, and people were fired up. And guys, those are the things that we want to stick to. But one other thing that Kai Jacobs said as well, we're like going to Paris. You know, when you're going to Paris and you're in the plane gets off track sometimes. The navigation gets it, but the navigation will get you back on track. And that's what it's all about. Staying connected, like Michael said, guys, showing up. 97% is just showing up because you need to be fired up. Every day you do your business. If you can get on these Zooms or listen to the replays, guys, that will just inspire you and teach your people to do the same thing. So great job, Michael. Love you, brother. You're awesome. And I'll see you at the bank because that's where we're going.
We'll be on the beach. I want people on the beaches of the world.
The beaches and the bank.
Well, I got
God
the
bless,
beach,
Mike.
so
I do too. So I'm grateful.
well, thank you, Lavelle.
Yeah,
Was,
folks, just know that you're at the right place, and just, you know, put your hand up. If you got a question, you want to learn how to get to the next level. And you don't have to hear it from me. There's so many quality people that are on here right now that have done some phenomenal things. Please don't be afraid to ask. I've asked every stupid question. Believe me. I was 22 years old when I got in this industry. I made every possible mistake there was. So please don't hesitate to ask.
well, very good words of wisdom there. You can't learn if you don't ask.
You can't. And for as many mistakes as I made in the very beginning, oh my gosh. It just shows you that a beer drinking surfer from Southern California can do this. You've got a hell of a chance to go to the top. So
yeah.
We call
Linda.
it failing your way to the top.
your way to the top. That's it.
Failing your way to the
got
top. That's right.
So
Linda
Linda Miller, you have your hand up. And you need to unmute yourself.
Sorry.
There you
yeah.
go.
Good morning. What do you do with people that want to be successful, but they don't want to follow what you try to teach them? They want to do it their way. I mean, how much time and energy do you spend with those people trying to get them to understand that to keep it simple? You can't just hand out a business card without a little education behind it and follow up. So how long do you spend with those people before you cut them loose?
That's a great question. You know, one of the things that I say all the time, we're in the relationship business. You know, you go back to the very beginning of network marketing. It was the relationships. It was giving people a chance to get to know, like, and trust you. Handing somebody a business card and directing them to something, yes, that can be somewhat effective. But actually, you know, taking a moment to understand what they're looking for, their needs, what's going to happen, you know, why they need to be a part of this. And then when you realize that somebody wants to kind of go against the grain of the simple steps that have been put together to have this success, you have to let them do their own. They're independent reps. I always say, work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. Work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. And to me, a lifeguard can save a lot of lives if they know how to swim. So when you get on an airplane, what's the first thing they tell you to do in case of an emergency and the masks drop down? Put yours on first, and then you can make a difference in other people's lives. So when it comes to something like that, you can direct them. You can let them know that this is the way that we're going. My GPS is set this way. I'm going to follow senior presidential directors. I'm going to follow people that just got on a cruise, that won the cruise. They did production. They didn't have reasons. They didn't have complaints. They didn't find fault. They're not blame shifters. These people found the path, and I'm walking that path. If you want to come, great. You can do it on your own. But this way, I believe, is a lot easier for me and my family, and that's how I do it.
The other thing I'd like to mention, Linda, is that we have the Getting to Know You form that's in the Live Younger Success. It's in the resources section. I would use that when you first start working with someone. And then if they start going a little bit sideways with you, you can always refer back to that and say, you know, Linda, I know that you're interested in becoming very successful, or you're interested in helping your health challenge. Were you serious about that, or were you just kidding around? Well, you were
Oh, no.
serious? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, what I would suggest is, here's how the best method will work. And let's work together with this. And you just keep going back to, were you serious about this, or were you just kidding around? Is one of my favorite sayings when working with someone. And, you know, you can't build a house if you don't know how to build. And, you know,
Correct.
if you say, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to go build it this way, well, great, but you may not have a stable house when you get done with it. You know, you may not get the certificate of occupancy to be able to live in it if it's not built right. So,
Well, one of the things I try to explain to people is that by keeping it simple, people are going to replicate what you do. If you make it complicated,
yes,
it's not going to work.
exactly.
Save your time, but don't cut the person. What I'm getting at is that you just start to put your time where it's deserved, and slow down on the time. You don't want to cut them. You're not, your job. We're all independent reps. Everybody can build it any way they want to. It just happens that we've got a really good system right now where I believe people can flow through and learn and make the mistakes and still have a chance to get to a level of success that they deserve, where they're not dependent on the 40-40-40 program.
Right. Well, and the other thing is that I think a level of belief in the product, and so many people don't understand that this is a nanotechnology. It's not just a patch. It's nanotechnology in the patch, which changes everything.
Yeah. And if you let the tools do the talking, then they can say, oh, well, I can do that, because you're just pointing to a tool. You're not having to learn everything, because I think that that's one of the things that really scares people when they get started. I can't learn all of this, especially if you have given them the science class instead of letting them learn the science class from our tools. Okay?
Right. I understand that, but I also, they need to understand that they need to have faith and belief that these things are going to change. I love the liveyounger.com site because that touches on everything.
Right.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, Linda. And next up is Ava Rose, and then we've got Lavelle again.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for joining us today and sharing. I was wondering if you could simplify and share the sequence that you use when someone's really serious about the business. We have so many amazing resources, but I find I'm a little overwhelmed with how much we have to offer to people. And so if you could simplify in a sequence when someone's really serious about the business. Okay, we direct them there. And if you've like, you do this first, and then you're gonna check in with them, and then like
I
with our
understand.
Live Younger resources. I'd love to just hear your system that you
There's,
use.
you know, and there's 5 simple steps to success here. It's always been the same, and it's amazing that our leadership, I feel like we all kind of got cut from the same cloth. It's kind of cool. You've got Gregory and his wife have put together a phenomenal website with obviously with the very talented Liz. And you know, when you first get involved, you know, you're going to make a list. You're going to make a grocery list. You know, I call it a list. You know, and everybody, you know, some people. My mentality is, if you got the keys to a major corporation, and you had to do the hiring, who would you want to be your vice president? Who would want you to be your sales, the head of sales, the head of development, the people that product share, customer service, people that are like-minded. I put a list together. This is how I do it. And I teach them how to build that list and keep that list alive long enough. And Lavelle loves this. And I know we've got Coach Bailey on and some others. That list, you're only looking for 4 aces out of the deck, but those 4 aces have to go through the next 4 steps. So you create a list, and then you got to learn the words, what I call learn how to approach and pique interest, not ambush and puke. Okay. You got to approach and pique interest. And then from there, I really tell the newer people that are very excited, that are, you know, very aggressive, they really want to have great success. Your job is to create a list, keep it alive long enough to find the 4 aces, develop your words on learning how to approach and pique rather than ambush and puke, and then direct to an effective presentation. I didn't tell them to do an effective presentation. I told them to direct them to a effective presentation. Lavelle's presentation, probably one of the best in the industry. He shares the right amount of information, inspiration, and imagination to make a logical decision to take the next step. So an effective presentation is step 3. Step 4, I think, is probably one of the most important ones, and that is what I call the sorting process. I don't like the word follow-up. I think it needs to be removed out of the industry. I think it's a sorting process. When you have to follow up, you're convincing people. We're not in the convincing business. We're in the sorting business. There's always 3 types of people when we share this opportunity. If I put you on a list, I learned the words that approached and piqued your interest to get you in front of an effective presentation, which I mean letting someone else do the heavy lifting and expose the business in a proper method to have a logical decision, and then ask the 3 questions. Are you a 1? Hey, you know what? I just want the product. I just want to try the product for myself. That's it. A second kind of person says, you know what? In the presentation, you talked about not only how the product worked, but how I could get it possibly, you know, how I can earn enough money to where it doesn't, you know, hurt me financially to use the product. And then the third one is, you could have been quiet 20 minutes ago. I get it. I'm in. I want to run and build the business. There's only 3 types of people, and you have to sort them accordingly to that. And then you have the 5th and final step: promote to the next event. The next event is getting in front of what Liz built with Gregory and his wife, and that is the Live Younger success. And that will take them through the 1, 2, 3 ABC. So those 5 steps are the most important part of building and developing the mindset, the duplication process, because the whole entire time, in each and every one of us that are on this call, we've all been through that. We all asked ourselves, is this simple? Can I do it? And can I share it? And you all said yes, because you were all brought through that same type of channel. Now, there might have been a little different way of doing it, and it might have taken you a little bit longer or shorter to come up with your decision. But I'm telling you, you were on a list. Somebody approached and piqued your interest. They didn't ambush you and puke all over you and tell you about the technology and walk you through all the double-blind placebo tests. And they didn't show you all the different facts and figures and what's in the patch and flew you to Ireland to see how the patches were made. And, you know, you didn't do that. Somebody took the time and approached you and then directed you to some type of maybe a three-way phone call, a business opportunity, maybe an event where there was others there that talked about the opportunity. However way it was introduced to you, it made logical sense. And then somebody asked you, well, what part did you like best? And you said, well, I want to know more about the patches. And then you got on the patches. You became a product of the product. And then now, next thing you know, you're creating a list. So that's the process. I hope that makes sense.
Lavelle, you're up again. And then
Great
Donna.
job. Great job, Mike. Yeah, I just wanted to respond to the person who said the person that won't follow you. What you want to do with that is get someone else involved. So like I had a guy, he said, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I got Gregory involved and totally changed his mind. So we all go through that. Always say teamwork makes the dream work. You gotta have other people involved in your business. When you have someone that wants to do it their way, and that's okay. Like Mike said, we're all independent distributors. You can do anything you want. But Jim Rohn says you can't change people. They can only change themselves. But you're going to do your best to get other people involved. They may see it from someone like Gregory, because Gregory has 300,000 people.
Yep.
So there you go. And that's how you can respond to that. Okay? Just wanted to help out with that.
Thanks, Lavelle. Donna, you're on.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to know, first of all, Michael, he mentioned that Lavelle has a very good, the best in the industry or whatever. I would love to know if there's a script that he has, if you have any kind of script or anything like that. And the other thing that I would like to know is, I'm going through making my list from my phone, and there's some people in there that I haven't talked to in years. And I wanted to know, how do you connect with these people, reconnect with these people? Because I don't want them to feel like I'm strictly approaching them so I can get them involved in, you know, I don't want to appear selfish about it. I want to make sure I'm appearing selfless about it. So anyway, those are my two questions. Thank you.
Michael, let me point out a couple things first, and then I'll turn it back to you. Donna, on the liveyoungersuccess.com, there are on the getting started 1, 2, 3, there's a link there for words that work. I believe it's also in the resource section, and that will be a very big help to you. And the other thing is, work with your upline mentor, that they can also guide you and help you. And they'll be going through the list with you saying, okay, well, tell me about this person. And then they can guide you as to what to say to them to introduce it. So Michael, over to you.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. You know, directly everything that we've built and everything that they've taken the time to put into the back of that website is everything that we've known. And one of the things is, you know, we don't know what our neighbors are doing. We don't know if they're hurting. We don't know if they're days away from losing their home. We don't know if they didn't eat the night before. We don't know if they didn't have enough gas to put in their car to get home. We don't know the situations. The best thing I can tell you is go have a conversation with them. Ask them how they're doing. Pick their brain a little bit. You know, get back into their life. See how they're doing. You know, we all should be doing that. We all, even if for the business, we really need to be reconnecting back with the people that got us to where we're at today. and the friendships. And it's nice that, you know, we don't know what they're going through. And they may need that one voice that you know, that could help. You know, so if you feel like you need to reach out to somebody and you're afraid that you're going to reach out to them because of the business, don't. Reach out to say hello, let them know. And they're going to ask you, well, what are you doing? And go, well, you know, not only was the reason for me to connect with you, but this is also something I thought of you and thought we could do this together, or I thought that maybe this could be something that could change your life and get you out of the pain that you're in. And I wanted to get your opinion, you know? And that's what I do. I ask people for their opinion. That's all I do. Hey, you know, you've always had great success. I was a beer drinking surfer. They all know me from that. And I asked them, you've always had great success. Could you do me a favor? Take a look at a business model, see if it makes sense for you. Because if it makes sense for you, then hopefully it'll make sense for me. And then you know, I sort them from there. I ask them, what's a good time to call you? Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday, morning or afternoon? Afternoon, 1 or 3, 3 o'clock. Great. I'll call you at 3. So understand that you can't say, and please, please, I hope everybody hears this. Even if you've been in it a lot longer and you're at a higher rank than I am, I want everybody to remember this. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can say too much, but you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Great question, Donna. Anne, you're on now.
Sure. I want to address that as well, because I think that when you've not seen someone for a very long time, you want to reestablish that relationship. So in order to reestablish that relationship, you're going to ask questions. You've got to go back to the asking questions, right? And we use the form, you know, family, occupation, recreation. What are they up to? What are they doing in their life? And the M, you know, I like to use what motivates them, but other people use the M in a different way. But you know what? You're wanting to know about them, and you're storing in your brain what they're telling you, right? Because it may be that in that conversation, they're going to share something with you, and you might think in your head, wow, LifeWave could help them. And maybe at some point you're going to approach them with that. But first, you've got to reestablish that relationship. And certainly the questions are a very important part of that. And I always say to people, get good at asking questions. If it's not something you do well, then learn to do it. Practice. Practice. I mean, we were trained in the other company that I work for, you know, wherever you are, in line, at the grocery store, practice asking questions until you get very comfortable with them. And when you start to learn to do that, people want you, they want to be heard, right? And so the more questions that you ask, the more they can share with you. You're going to get so much valuable information that will help you. It will guide you with how to approach them in the future. It may be they're hurting. It may be they're looking for more money. You don't know that until you ask those questions to find out where they're going in their life, and what we have to offer, what you have to offer them individually in their own life that will improve things in a big, big way. So that's number one. The second thing I want to talk about a little bit is that, you know, when I first started in network marketing, I had no clue what I was doing. I was used to getting paid by the hour. I worked as a nurse in a hospital, and we got paid by the hour. And when we talk about pyramids, I mean, a hospital is a pure pyramid itself, right? We talk about the administrator on top and the guys in the middle, right? And they're all pyramids, you know, so I laugh when people say that to me. But, you know, I didn't know it at the beginning. I really didn't. And those of you who are just beginning, you know, stay with it. Stay here, be here in a year, be here in 5 years. I mean, I committed to this in a big way, and I have never regretted it, because today I make more money than I ever made in my nursing career. So understand that this industry is amazing, not only for relationship building, not only for community, financial freedom, it's got it all, you know? So stick with it and you'll keep learning. It's a professional development, company. And Michael, you did an amazing job this morning. I love how you started this conversation, comparing to Jesus and the disciples. I mean, what a great analogy. It really is, because truly that's what he did, right? That's what he did. Disseminated the truth, and that's who we are. We're going to disseminate the truth about how we can create better health. So thank you.
Better wealth, yeah, health and wellness.
Correct.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. And Charlotte, you're on.
Yay.
First, thank you, Michael. I tell you, that was a great, great message this morning. And we are so blessed to have team leaders like you that are willing to step up to the plate and do whatever's necessary to help everyone grow. And the Mascaris and Liz, your system is absolutely phenomenal. And I can tell you, this is the first network marketing company I've ever been with where I came in and the tools were already done. You didn't have to go back, recreate the wheel, start from scratch. But one of the systems that we work with on our team is Fat Goats That Climb a Pole. And FAT stands for faithful, available, and teachable or trainable. And those three attributes in the very beginning are the most important. So look for your person. From director and above, we direct traffic. Okay. Who's faithful, who's available, who's teachable or trainable. And until they're actually willing to follow a system, which in this case, again, we've got one of the best, you can't take them to the next level. So what I do is start working with them in the beginning, getting them faithful, available, teachable, or trainable. And then as they want to recreate the wheel, once they're making more money than you, then I tell them, go for it. I'm willing to listen to you. But until your check's bigger than mine, why don't we follow the system that works?
Amen.
Step 1, step 2, step 3. It's right here for you. So that's kind of the way I work the system. And again, thank you guys for putting it all together, because you make our life so much easier. So thanks again.
Thank you, Charlotte.
And she's the best. I just love her.
She is. And now we've got Steve Bailey, otherwise known as Coach.
Can you hear me okay, Liz?
We can. Hi.
Great job, Mr. Rhino Farino. Fantastic. And thank you for being on here today. Charlotte, amazing. Liz, what you put together, absolutely, just with that website, Live Younger Success, is just amazing. I wanted to help with that question earlier that they asked about contacting somebody that you haven't talked to for a long time. You might want to, in the beginning of the conversation, you'll say, hey, Michael, listen, I haven't talked to you forever. I just want to, so excited to catch up. But listen, before we get deep into most important, how you're doing, I started a business. I don't want to talk about that right now, but it might be something you may be interested in. I want to share it with you later. But before we do that, tell me how's it going? What have you been doing? So that way you're not covering the fact that, hey, you're just calling about business right off the bat. They need to know that right out the chute, right? Because they're like, you ask them how they're doing, then you drop the business thing. And at the end, they're like, well, the only reason you called me was business type scenario. So just a thought. I heard that from some of the leadership a while back. If you want to mention that in the beginning, but then most importantly, catch up with them. And it may or may not be for you on the business, but I wanted to share that with you too. So thank you for everyone being here, and hope that helped with the question about contacting someone that you haven't talked to for a long time.
It was awesome.
Well, that's a really, really strong point, Steve. And thank you for sharing that with us. So
He's the best. He's the best recruiter I've ever known. The best.
Yep.
Warm market or cold market, body dragging. I mean, unbelievable. We had a competition many, many years ago, and we put him on a plane, and we could not believe what he did. So maybe he should come back, and maybe he should come on one day and talk about recruiting and how he approaches and piques people's interest, because I've never seen anybody do it so quick. So
yeah, that's great. We'll have to do that. So, well, we're getting close to the top of the hour. So unless there's any other comments, or questions, I think that we'll bring this in for a landing. So Monday evening is the next call, and we will be having probably a video recording from the ship, because the time that would be going up Monday evening. Of course, we have our Monday morning miracle call, but Monday evening it will be like, I don't know, 5 a.m. East Coast time, when they're in the middle of the ocean somewhere. So we'll have that recording for you, and they'll be updating us on how wonderful the trip is, and probably some tidbits about what David had to say too. So I'm sure that next week is going to be an exciting week. And then Tuesday evening, I don't remember who we've got scheduled for the health practitioner call, but we'll be having that. And then Thursday morning, we've got Sunshower Rose and Angela Shaughnessy that will be speaking with us next week. So until then, thanks everyone. And I'm going to see if we can ask everyone to unmute, and you could say goodbye on your way out. So thanks everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Liz.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
So
Mike.
much.
Thank
Great
you,
call.
Liz.
Thank
Buddy.
you.
Very, very
Bye.
helpful.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Yes, thank
This
you.
was
Bye, thank you.
wonderful.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Much appreciated. Great
Thanks.
job, everybody.
Woohoo.
How can you